Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. The bigger picture, only on Money FM 89.3.
Thanks for joining us on Money FM 89.3. Now, 10 years is a long time in markets. And for the CEO of the Singapore Exchange, that's how long he has been at the helm since taking the role in 2015. It's been quite a defining decade for the SGX, where he has steered it from an equities-led exchange into a diversified multi-asset platform spanning derivatives, commodities, fixed income, and currencies. Along the way, the exchange has delivered record earnings, expanded its global footprint, and now sits at the center of Asia's fast-evolving capital markets. So let's first say hello to the CEO of the Singapore Exchange, Loh Boon Chye. Good morning, Boon Chye.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, listeners.
Yeah, great to have you back on again. And also this year marks another milestone for you. You've been named CEO of the Year 2025 by Markets Media Group. So congrats. So a good time to also perhaps look back at your journey so far, explore the challenges and surprises of the past decade, and hear your vision for what's next for the SGX. Plus, beyond the boardroom, we'll also get a glimpse into what inspires you personally, lessons you draw from your love of safari trips and the animal world. So let's get into it. This year marks your 10th anniversary as CEO. Looking back, what are you most proud of, and what's been your toughest challenge?
I would say I've been proud of my team, my colleagues that we work with. Together we have diversified our business. We've built a multi-asset exchange that provide access into Asia for global investors. That has been a humbling experience too, from where we started as a equities-only exchange to one that is diversified across derivatives, commodities, and currencies, and also platforms that enable access into even the freight market. Challenges? Well, nothing is static or certain these days. There's not even a most likely scenario. I think navigating through global uncertainty is clearly one. Fast shifting unexpected capital flows and even the pandemic. But I think in all of this, with a strong team, we have been able to hold our views, make tough calls, and be really disciplined.
Yeah, quite a journey, and of course the SGX has evolved over the years, and you pointed out how it was previously heavily equity-driven, and in the past 10 years it has grown to be more diversified. Walk us through how that came about. Was this transformation the result of a long-term vision you set out from the start, or was this just adapting to the market realities along the way?
I held a view earlier on that we need to diversify away from just equities. We need to be strong in equities, but it is not just about diversification. It is also about the decades of Asia's growth. If we look back in the past 2-3 decades, Asia has led global growth. We also have the growing ASEAN region, and that continues to be where some of the bright spots are globally. So the roadmap and destination is clear. But I would say along the way, we also had to be flexible and be adaptive. Along the way, Asia continues to industrialize, is also undergoing energy transition, and that really means also greater demand, currencies for commodities, risk management, and that's how we have also expanded into the multi-asset platform today that we're known for.
Roadmap and destination on track so far. What has been perhaps most surprising to you about steering SGX over the past decade? Something that perhaps you didn't anticipate when you first started?
Well, there's always things coming out of the blue, things that are unexpected. One I would say is the pace of transformation. I thought the pace would be years, but clearly that's not the case. With technological changes, with AI, with greater adoption of data, that's clearly something that we had to adapt, move fast, accelerate our pace, and also stay very clear eye on the destination and adapting and be flexible along the way, absorbing new inputs and how the environment evolves.
Yeah, staying clear-eyed. So let's take a look into your crystal ball. Coming up for the SGX, what's next for it? If you had to write the next chapter for the SGX, what would its title be?
It's not about closing a chapter or closing a book and opening a new chapter or new book, but I would say it's a continuation but more importantly, is from growth to acceleration. The past decade has allowed us to lay a strong foundation, to build trust, to engage the ecosystem. I think going forward, we need to build upon that. We can expand our FX business. Today, we are the third largest exchange-backed OTC FX business. We've grown our commodities business to be a global platform today. There's still interest rates products that we can launch. So lots to do, and it's really about from growth to acceleration, and that means also scaling, making our equities market more liquid, engaging the ecosystem, building trust, and have greater outreach to our investors.
Yeah, Boon Chye, talking about growth, FY 2025 marked record earnings and also the strongest IPO pipeline in years. Walk us through what you're seeing from this, what you're observing. Is this a cyclical rebound or the start of a structural re-rating of Singapore as a listings hub?
I would say it's a mix of both. There is clearly tailwinds, some tailwinds. Global markets are on the cyclical upswing. That said, our IPO pipeline is the strongest in years. We're seeing inflows and better liquidity even in the mid-cap stocks. Together with the market review group, our regulators, the ecosystem, we're really building liquidity that is sustainable and making the platform even more efficient. I think we're seeing the beginning of a structural shift, a virtuous cycle that could really create sustainable liquidity for companies to see Singapore as a listing hub and their gateway to Asia.
Yeah, definitely flows are coming to Singapore. So let's talk about the momentum that you're seeing. And you point out how SGX has diversified into a few areas. Commodities, fixed income, and currency trading now make up over a quarter of SGX's revenues. So which areas are you seeing perhaps the most untapped potential right now?
The growth areas are few. I think in particular, our FX business, whether that's OTC FX or listed derivatives, clearly has got more room to grow. Asia continues to industrialize. Asia continues to lead global growth. Asia is at the center of trade and finance. There'll be more demand for commodities and currencies. At the same time, commodities coupled with our freight shipping platform allows for investors to participate. While it's hard now with trade tariffs, but clearly shipping remains a key mode of transportation, and we continue to draw financial investors into that space.
All right, talking about growth and acceleration, MAS has rolled out $5 billion in liquidity injections and incentives to revitalize the equity market. But beyond incentives, Boon Chye, what more do you think needs to be done to make Singapore the listing destination of choice for regional growth companies?
Incentives are important and useful, but they are part of the solution. More importantly, working with our regulator, policymakers, the broader ecosystem in terms of investor outreach, innovation, product access, and importantly, working with our companies who will need a platform that's robust for capital raising, and also partnering anchor investors, active sponsors, and also the broader research community.
Okay, so talking about innovation, you've held a cautious stance on crypto listings. So going forward, with what's going on with global regulatory frameworks now maturing, is there now a point where perhaps crypto could have a natural fit on the SGX?
SGX is known for a trusted, neutral, efficient, transparent platform. Whatever we do in terms of products has to suit that framework, because that's what our investors, participants look for. With regulations evolving and probably maturing in some jurisdiction around crypto, we are also not standing still. We're taking a progressive view, which is why we're looking to launch crypto perpetuals for institutional investors towards the end of the year. As and when this becomes sustainable and where we can see value and a sustainable place in a portfolio for investors, will continue to innovate along those lines.
All right, so for retail investors, nothing yet on the near term maybe a Bitcoin ETF?
Institutional investors.
Okay, we'll keep a close eye on that for now. All right, as chairman of the World Federation of Exchanges, you have a vantage point across global markets. What's perhaps the single biggest lesson you've drawn from other exchanges that you've applied at the SGX?
I've come to appreciate the value of collaboration over competition. At the WFE, as chairman, I get to see at the front row the common challenges that all exchanges face.
Oh, that's a very interesting point, because when we talk about exchanges, there's always this element of competition where perhaps your neighboring exchange is drawing in the listings. So what do you mean by collaboration?
Well, there's always the challenges that we see together: disruption, maintaining resilience, but at the same time, with fragmentation of liquidity, it is important to collaborate. And even within ASEAN, there is the collaboration now started off between Singapore and Thailand on the depository receipts. We now, across both exchanges, have products that our retail and institutional investors can access across each other's market.
From the animal instincts in the markets, let's switch tracks to the animal kingdom, where, Boon Chye, you have a hobby of visiting a safari every year or so, and you actually take away a lot of lessons from the animal kingdom. What have been some of the experiences that have perhaps gone towards how you run the business?
It's part of my downtime, but I think through those trips and observing animals, I've come to take away a couple of lessons. If I look at how war dogs hunt, they hunt in a pack. It's not about any alpha. They work together. They wear down challenges. They spread themselves out in bushes. And that's how the leadership is all about. It's not about yourself. It's how the team can come together and how you create a safe and strong environment for each to thrive.
Okay, so teamwork makes the dream work. Any particular animals that you connect with that have also perhaps shaped your view on how to run a business?
There are many that I like, but if I were just to name one of the many, it's probably the elephant. Calm, exhibit quiet wisdom, but yet it has got immense presence.
All right, let's talk about what you've taken away from nature. Some of your time spent there. How has that reshaped how you approach perhaps some of the business decisions over the past decade? Is there something that you've learned in how you've observed the world of nature, how that can be applied to the world of business?
I've learned to be more grounded. I've learned to appreciate how an ecosystem operates. Everyone matters, but yet each has got different priorities and viewpoints. It's hard about finding that common thread and creating and building a consensus and leading the team forward.
Almost creating a balance in your ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your 10 years. Finally, after 10 years at the helm of the SGX, how has the role shaped you personally? And what has SGX taught you about yourself?
I've learned to listen more and also thinking about balance. It is, at the end of the day, a teamwork. The team matters more than yourself. It's about trusting the team, delegating, and I also learned to hopefully stay calm in moments of extreme stress, take out the noises, and be clear-eyed on the journey ahead. Okay,
so it sounds like you've changed. Over the past years, you've changed as a person in terms of how you approach things, including how you approach stress management.
I hope I've become better than where I first started.
All right, I think we all are growing, and it's great to see you mark 10 years at the SGX. In conversation with us this morning has been the CEO of the Singapore Exchange, Loh Boon Chye. Boon Chye, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.